So I think that we might all have a go at this one for a bit of fun. My best event is definitely Roses. Sorry, I've stolen that from anyone else that might want to say that. So Roses is our varsity fixture against Lancaster. It normally takes place in term 3, so around May time. And it's just a massive weekend of sport. So there's over 150 fixtures within the weekend. It's the biggest inter-university varsity in Europe. We get, not only do all the sports clubs get really involved, everyone who doesn't play sport comes to spectate. There's loads of music on campus. We had fireworks last time. We even had Mark Addy open at the ceremony from Game of Thrones. It's a really great weekend, and it's actually really nice because it happens just before exams and everyone sort of gets really stressed. So it's a really great weekend where York comes together. Who wants to go next? Who else has got a favourite event? Matt?
My favourite event, probably so far in uni, has been it is a bar crawl, technically, but it was just absolutely brilliant. There were so many different people. It was Quadrasci, and it's where originally it was chemistry, biology, maths, and physics coming together and just organising a huge bar crawl, like almost 1,000 tickets sold. Obviously, that in recent years, other sciences have come in, like natural scientists, computer scientists, psychologists, environmental scientists, even. Yeah, it's just such a huge event, and I love it to pieces. I really do.
I'm on mute. I've 3 months of Zoom and I've still not learned how to use it. Brian, what's your favourite event?
It's going to be a bit of an odd one. I think I'm going to surprise some people with this on the panel. But actually, I think the elections for USU are really good. I've seen so many students get involved with them. It fosters very good debate amongst the student community. And it sounds a bit weird when you're looking at it from the outside perspective, but genuinely, you will see it everywhere for that entire week. You will start to be really thinking about what USU does for you, and you'll have like comments and opinions, and there will be debates. We run debate nights amongst the candidates. We have a elections results ceremony at the end. It's a very interesting and out there series of events across that week.
On mute again. Hayley, do you want to tell us a bit about volunteering and any big events that happen within volunteering at York?
Yeah, of course. So we have a big week in February, which is our student volunteering week, where me and my committee run loads of events, like with other charities in the area and with the projects. Do sometimes like go sessions and have places where you can go and meet them and see what they're doing, and you can do like micro volunteering, which is doing stuff like one-off, which is very rare that people do, but it's a lot of good fun. So that's something I enjoy as well. Another one is we have like student volunteering awards and Love York awards, really big at York. So, and you get recognised for all the hard work you do in all different categories. So the projects get involved, even individuals get a role in it and get a certificate if they do well. So one of my favourites about York and volunteering.
Good stuff. And Carly, finally, what's your favourite event?
I'm going to actually go a little bit away. It's some of the student events that we do. I mean, we work with them on them, but for example, the food fest nights that we do, so that's where we get different parts of our community and they'll do a food from their culture, and anyone can turn up, and it's just trying good food, chatting to each other, getting to know their culture. It's really fun. It's just a night that's run. It was running the Goodrick College, that was really enjoyable and just really niche.
I've actually been to one of the food festival events run by the ISA, and it was fantastic, and I was so full by the time I left. I had a really great evening. We've actually had a follow-up question to that, which is, what events does the uni offer for those that aren't sporty? Is it important to be interested in sport? So I'm not going to be biased because I am the sport president and say yes. It's absolutely not important to be interested in sport. There's tons to get involved with at York. We've got over 300 sports and societies, so 230 of those, as Brian said earlier, are societies, so like completely unrelated to sport. Matt, you wanted to say something here.
So I'm not really into sport. I by all means, I appreciate the fact that some people are really into it, Maddie, and I go crazy. But personally, I don't particularly enjoy it. That said, I did really enjoy Rose's weekend. I really enjoyed being a part of it and just feeling part of the York community in a really, really material way. Um, but sport really isn't vital to enjoy university life. So the societies I'm a part of, I've been involved in MathSoc just because it seemed like a good idea. Um, and I think the only other society that I've involved myself in, sorry Brian, is D&D Soc, just because it's and that's about as far from being sporty as you can get, to be honest.
Brian, do you have anything to add to this one?
Yeah, I think you covered it really well by highlighting that we've got over 200 societies. I'll just point out actually that we have 18 volunteering projects and 3 RAG beneficiary charities. So there really is something to do, whether it's looking for your hobbies, it's getting involved more in academics, or if it's about charitable voluntary stuff.
Good stuff. Oh, Matt wants to say something.
Sorry, just one final thing. It's worth pointing out that sports and societies and things like that, they're put on by us, the union, not the university. They're separate entities. The distinction's a bit weird. Like the university are those that teach us, the academics, the staff, and all that. But the union, we're a separate entity purely for students.
That's a good distinction to make there. It does seem a bit odd when you first come to uni, but you do get to grips with who does what eventually. We've got quite a few questions here about sports, so I'm just going to rattle through them quickly. Firstly, what sports facilities are there and what are the membership costs associated? So I don't know if you've been to see the campus yet or haven't been able to because of COVID, but I'd encourage definitely having a look on a map of the campus. You can really easily find one just by Googling York, University of York campus map. On Campus West, so our campus is split into 2 parts. On Campus West, that's the side of campus with James and Derwent College on it. We have got on that campus the York Sports Centre, which in it has a gym, which is kind of more geared towards like weights and strength and conditioning. There's a couple of class rooms sort of there that they can run spin sessions in. However, most of the classes happen over on the other side of campus. We've also got a water dress hockey pitch, some outdoor and indoor tennis courts. We have all our grass pitches that we play hockey, rugby, American football on, as well as cricket in the summer. We don't have a golf course, but right next door to us is the golf course that we have very good links with through our university golf club. And then over on the other side of campus, Campus East, that's the side where there's Goodrich, Langworth and Constantine. We've got the York Sport Village. So in there is the swimming pool, the class rooms, so the spin bikes and the dance studios. The 3G pitch is also behind there, which is our artificial surface for things like football, rugby, American football. And next door to that, we've got a velodrome, and we're really lucky. We're one of only 3 universities with a velodrome. So if you enjoy cycling, that's definitely a reason to come to York. And I completely forgot, we also have an athletics track, which is on Campus West, and we're affiliated with the City of York Athletics Club. And there is a question about athletics, and I will get to that in a second. Cost-wise, usually you can pay monthly, termly, or yearly. However, with COVID, this is going to change slightly to reflect what you're going to get offered with your membership package to make sure it's value for money. My best advice here, and I will put the link in the chat so you can have a look, is to visit the York Sport website, which is going to keep being updated about membership prices for stuff. We want to make sure everyone has a really good experience and they get proper value for money out of their gym membership. So as much as the gym is going to be open, facilities are going to be open, we want to make sure the provision is there for everyone to get the most out of their experience at York. Okay, so that's that one, and I'll pop the link in the comment below. Next question, do you have an athletics team at York? I'm a field athlete and currently compete nationally and internationally. Very impressive. Would I be able to continue this at university? So interestingly, I actually was a field athlete myself before I came to York, and one of the reasons I decided to come here was because they have a very good link with the City of York Athletics Club. So the link actually means that there's access to lots of coaches that you wouldn't otherwise get. The throws coaches at York, hopefully it's throws you're interested in. If it's jumps, I'm not so sure, but the throws coaches at York are really good and they have some very high standard athletes. So definitely still be able to continue that at university. Right, I'm going to get rid of that. So I've done it. Is there a period where you can try out lots of sports and societies and then choose the ones you want to commit to? Brian, do you want to have a go at this one?
Yes, the answer is yes here. We run Give It a Go week in week 2 of spring and summer term, in addition to having Give It a Go throughout the year. What is Give It a Go? This is where you can show up to sports or activities and try them out for free, no experience required from before, see if it's for you. And if you like it, then you can sign up and keep going to those activities. As I said, it's there's concentrated weeks in spring and summer term, but then there's also there's clubs and socks will run their own Give It a Go events across the year, and we'll deliver that and advertise it to you guys, so you can try things out.
Great stuff. Next question, are there any martial arts clubs? Yes, there are martial arts clubs. The best thing to do is to go to the UC website and have a look under I can't remember the tab. Basically, have a look around on the website and you will find a big list of all of the sports clubs we have at York. We have judo, tai chi, jiu-jitsu, karate, kendo, aikido, MMA and Thai boxing. Carly's gonna jump in here. She's probably got something really important I've missed off.
I was just going to add that it's under the sports and activities tab. So if you search the university's sports, societies and sports, click on pretty much the first link that'll come up. And there's a little tab, it's the second tab along. And also, just because some people do ask this and it's been asked before, in terms of the specifics, because obviously within each of those they do different things and different regulations, you would have to ask the specific society. We probably couldn't answer that directly because I've had that already. That's all.
Fabulous. So there's someone that knows the website much better than I do. That's where you find it all, and definitely go and have an explore of the website because you might find a hidden gem that you actually think, oh, that sounds really interesting. All the clubs have got their emails and contact details on as well, so you can send them an email if you've got more specific questions and they'll be more than happy to get back to you and help you answer your question. We've got another question here. Is there an event where you can see all the different societies and sign up, or do you have to seek them out yourself? Someone want to talk about Freshers Fair a little bit here, Brian?
Yeah, so normally we have an event where you can go around and meet all of the societies and sports clubs, and this is called Freshers Fair. It's important to address that coronavirus makes things a bit more complicated because normally we would cram in about 4,000 students into one big building and have you all go around. That's much harder with coronavirus restrictions. We're looking at bringing that still to you guys in a different form so that it's safe and secure, but you can still interact with those societies and find out about them. In addition, you can look at the website. That will always be available, and even if you say miss that event, you can sign up at pretty much any time.
So we've got a question come in here. This one's made for me. Do you have more than one girls football team based on ability? Well, I actually was the president of the women's football club, so I can definitely answer this for you. We've got 2 university teams within the university women's football club. And then we also have college women's football. So every college has got at least one 7-a-side women's football team that plays in the college league. Some have 2 or 3. So there's absolutely an opportunity for anyone of any ability to get involved, even if they're picking it up for the first time at university. Another question here, are there many societies for theatre/music? Brian, that's probably one for you.
Yes, the answer is yes. We've got a lot of different ones, from a music society to an orchestra society to drama society to pantomime society, which I know Carly was part of quite a bit. We've definitely got something for everyone here. Carly, do you want to add anything on with pantomime society?
Not on pantomime society specifically, because that's a bit biased, but I mean, the theatre groups, there's all sorts of things you can get involved with. It's not necessarily just the performance side of it. You can get director roles and producing, and there's also tech soc that does all the lighting and that side of it. There is so much to get involved with. Again, go look at that really long list and any specific interest that you have. Email the societies, ask any questions. Come back to Brian if you want to and ask him some questions directly if you want to. There is so much there, and it's a fantastic opportunity. I loved it in my time at university.
Fabulous. Right, we've got a question here. This is a bit of a longer one. With the rise in attention to the Black Lives Matter movement, is there anything specifically that the union has, both in the past and currently done, to increase diversity at York and support BAME students? Yes, that's a great question. There is an increased attention to the movement, and we're really lucky at York to have a fantastic BAME network led by two of our BAME PTOs, one of whom you'll have seen in the video that we just showed you. So in terms of what we have done to support the movement, as a immediate response, our outgoing, so she's now gone, but the previous Carly, who was called Steph, produced a resource document with lots of resources about being actively anti-racist, to learn about things like white privilege, and that was available for all students to access. A lot of the documents came through the library, so that was a really fantastic document that sort of went out very quickly. We also, BAME Network and the BAME PTOs are working really closely with the Vice Chancellor on recognising National Anti-Racism Week, and they have also been able to put forward to the university some ideas for how we can tackle things like the ethnicity gap at higher education. We are also working with the university on widening participation, and that involves not just the BAME PTOs, but also lots of our different liberation networks at York. So that includes like LGBTQ+, Disabled Students Network, and they are coming together as part of a student expert panel for the university to consult with. So actually there's been quite a positive response. Matt also wants to talk about some work the previous academic officer did actually all year last year on decolonising and diversifying the curriculum. Matt, do you want to?
So yeah, my predecessor Zhang spent a lot of her time over the past year working on decolonising, diversifying, and liberating the curriculum in a whole load of ways. And I mean, the outcome of that, it led into obviously a very difficult time for a lot of people recently, and you know, it's like really come into its own, and there are now, I'm involved in 2 or 3 different working groups within the university talking about it. There is one exclusively for diversifying the library and archives, which I think is really great. I mean, York have an absolutely huge archives collection, and it's really, really important to decolonize a lot of that, because a lot of it is from a very particular viewpoint. So the work that's being done there is absolutely amazing.
Thanks for that, Matt. I hope that answers the question of whoever submitted it. We've got one that's more for Hayley. What is the role of PTOs, and what RAG and volunteering things can you get involved with at university?
So a PTO is a part-time officer, which means that me currently does the role alongside my degree. I'm in the second year of doing a psychology and education degree. So if any of you are doing that, please let me know and I can give you some questions about it and answer them. Also, with a PTO, you get elected the same as all the sabbatical officers, but with my volunteering in particular, I run a committee that's elected sort of. pick them from being applications, and we vote on ideas about volunteering and run events during the year, such as Student Volunteering Week, as I mentioned before, and promoting volunteering and all the projects that we have at York, which Brian said earlier. There are 18 volunteering projects, ranging from some with special needs kids, which is Key in York, to some that help the elderly. At the moment, Team Coffee Club are running, calling up the elderly, and you can talk to them and help them feel less isolated during this time in COVID, if that's up anyone's alley. Also, you can go to the volunteering website, which is www.uc.org/society/volunteering, I think, something that I'll link down below. And you can find out all about the 18 volunteering projects that we currently have and the emails, everything. There's also, and part of that is what we call RAG. So we also help with the RAG charities. Max is the PT officer. So if you want to find him, you can find him online under all the volunteering and RAG ideas. And there are 3 charities that he runs. He raises money for these 3 charities that are elected in by all of you and the committee. So if you have any ideas what charity this year, I'm sure he can tell you all about them and all the ideas and trips he runs throughout the year. And yeah, if you want any more volunteering ideas or you need anything, please let me know. Thanks.
Thanks for that, Hayley. We've got another question here. Do you do any Pride Month events? Carly, do you want to help with that?
When I can unmute myself. Yeah, so normally we do. Obviously, it was affected by COVID this year, which was really unfortunate. So we have an active LGBTQ plus network with 2 TO officers, Dan and Matt, who sort of run the more campaign and policy side of things. And we also have LGBTQ plus social, which run different events, and they go on throughout the year, not just around Pride Month. And we also, just in York in general, which is separate to us, they run the Pride March in the city that a lot of people get involved in. So there's lots of different Pride events going on there. In York, the Pride March is in June usually, which ends with a festival at the racecourse. But there's loads of ways to get involved with that.
Thanks very much, Carly. Another question here for Hayley. Someone is interested in a psychology and education degree. What led you to choose psychology and education over BSc psychology? I'm split at the moment. An insight from someone on the course.
Yeah, so obviously I said before, I'm in my 2nd year going into my 3rd year. I mainly chose psychology and education because I aspire to be an educational psychologist. It's not for everyone. You can also get a degree if you want to be a teacher. A lot of my courses do want to be teachers, and it's a step into education and more about the psychology side of it, which is quite exciting. In 1st year, we do modules with all the education degrees, 3 of them, and one of them is just straight psychology. So you do learn more about like inside the education system and the history of education, everything. In 2nd year, a lot of the modules are just psychology. So if you're more thinking you want to go down the psychology route, it's probably more the BSc straight psychology. But with psychology and education, everything we do is integrated in education based. So topics such as like cognitive will link it straight back to doing it in the classroom, which is quite interesting, especially for me, because I want to go into the education field. But if you want more questions, I can put my email down below and you can message me. Thanks.
Provide all services as a students' union, and of course, if you have any more questions specifically about the course, you can always get in touch with the university department, and they'll be more than happy to help you with any questions that you've got. Whoever submitted it said thank you for all your help with a smiley face. That's okay. We're glad we can help. We've got another question here. I heard a friend who is at York mention something about kinky coffee. What is it? Is it linked to a society? Now, a few of us were completely stumped on this one, but Brian thinks he's got the answer. Brian.
Yes, is the short answer. We have a fetish society. This is a progressive, sex-positive society where people who are curious about kink can get together and talk. And one of their events is Kinky Coffee, where it's a super chill daytime meetup. There's no pressure, no hassle, just good food and good chatter about the topic of fetishes and sex positivity. I'll just drop a link in the chat in case you want to check out that particular society.
Thank you very much, Brian. That was a fantastic answer. Right, we've got 10 more minutes and I've kind of run out of questions. So if anyone's got a question, get it in quickly because we haven't got longer. I'm going to ask Matt a question, actually. I want to learn more about what his role as academic officer is and how does he interact with departments and students. Like, what do you do, Matt?
A very good question. Something that I couldn't actually answer the other day when someone asked me. For reference, that was a complete brain fart. It wasn't, anything else. So yeah. I lead the team of 30-ish department reps. Department reps then subsequently lead a team of anywhere between 5 and 32 course reps. And then there's 3 faculty reps just floating around at the top, who don't really have a student-facing role. So my direct influence over departmental decisions is quite limited. I can talk to departments as the academic officer if something's going wrong, the department rep wants a hand. But the first port of call is I'd go through the department rep, and they are an appointed position. It's a year-long position, unpaid. Takes about 5 years. 5 years? Oh my god, 5 hours a week. 5 years a week would be really impressive. Of work. Yeah. Now there's some perks to the role as well. But yeah, I've been a department rep for 2 years previously. And it's the thing that I've enjoyed most about uni, to be honest. Yeah.
It's really nice to hear all the different ways you can get involved as a student at York beyond just, traditionally what I know, which is sport. And I've learned a lot actually doing this for a year, and actually sort of made me think that I wished I'd got involved with some other stuff while I was a student at York. We've got one more question. What are the campus bars like? So I'll do a little bit on this, and then anyone else can jump in if they want to. We've got 6 venues on campus, and they're split between Campus East and Campus West. And actually all of our venues have got sort of their own character, if you like. So we've got the lounge, which is a dedicated event space for students, and students can book out the lounge and can host their own events there. So we've had things like techno nights, drum and bass, and it's a really good way to support student events within the city. We've got Courtyard, which is more like a food and drink place. You can watch the sports there. We've got Glasshouse over on Campus East. They have a really great karaoke night on a Friday night, as well as a quiz in the week. And I also want to just mention the Crescent, which is a venue in town, and lots of student-run events happen there. It's a really great place, again, to support student nightlife in the city, but also go to see a comedy event, hang out and play some pool with your mates. Has anyone else got anything to say about? Yep, Carly.
So this actually goes on to another question that's just been asked. One of those venues is not licensed, but still functions on an evening, and that just does good food. I know somebody was on about one of the breads that they do there on an evening. I can't remember the exact name. I've not been there myself. But there's lots of different events and they go on that aren't drinking that are at the bars, and there's jazz nights and other things where you can just sit and chill, and there's mocktails. You don't necessarily have to be drinking alcohol when you go to the events that are in the campus bars. Like, it doesn't, not being a big drinker does not stop you participating in anything. There is lots of different food. As I said, we mentioned Food Fest, a lot of the things that we do orientate around that, and all sorts of different other community events. There's coffee events and all sorts of different bits, so you don't have to be a drinker, and there is venues where drinking doesn't happen.
I think it's really really important. Yeah, obviously Carly's highlighted there, we do have an unlicensed venue, the Kitchen at Alcuin, and it's been really nice to see student societies and sports clubs booking that out to have non-drinking socials for members who might feel more comfortable in an environment where there isn't alcohol around. And I think that's definitely something that is reflected across student life at York. Sports clubs try to have at least one completely alcohol-free social a term, and actually they've been some of my favourite experiences with my teammates, like playing board games and just going and watching a film around my mate's house. So don't worry if you're not a big drinker, it's not a problem at all. Brian's got something to say here.
I've got to plug them, otherwise they'll never forgive me. We have a sober society at York if you're not a big drinker, and they are genuinely the most friendly bunch. They put on so many events. There really is something if you aren't a drinker. Sober society are pretty much your guys, in addition to our other clubs and societies, they also put on loads of non-drinking events.
Fantastic. So it's nearly 6, so I think we're going to wrap up the session here. If you've got any questions, please have a look at our website. Our contact details will be on there. I'm going to drop my email in the comment section in the chat so that you can forward anything else that you think of onto me. But if otherwise, thank you very much for coming to our session, and I hope, well, we all hope you have a lovely evening and hope it's not too rainy where you are. So hope to see you all in York soon.